Hey guys, Youngblood with you. And what I wanted to do today was actually take you on a quick little walk around the new Vanguard warden since it's been reworked in 3.6. And one of the first things you'll really notice is the new landing gear, where it's actually got wheels. And I'm sure this is going to be one of those areas that kind of gets people like, you either love it or you hate it. Now, these were part of the original design when the concept first came out. But when it got released, it almost had Retaliator style, like landing gear that kind of splayed out like feet. And instead, now you have these wheels, which I do actually like the look of. You also have the intakes on the front and the retro thrusters that now have some glowing effects, which are a really nice touch. By default on the Warden, you do have some underslung missiles, a couple of the bigger options. And on the back, you have a different engine kind of layout. Now, as far as the actual interior of the ship, or not the interior, the exterior, you can see some of these bays open up. They have some nice visuals to them. You can see how big the landing gear is as far as the cavernous size. You've got some very large maneuvering thrusters on the backside for a ship of this size that do kind of pivot from side to side. As far as the ramp to actually get into this ship, you'll have to forgive me, it took me a second to get in here. That being said, it is a bigger ramp now. It's no longer, I mean, it's not going to be like your, the dropship one, the hoplite. It's not going to be hoplite in size, but you can see it is significantly larger. It folds out and it extends. You can walk up inside. And once you get in, you have a little bit more space back here. Less forward to backward space, but a little bit more on the sides, and it just feels like it uses the space better. Now, once the actual ramp on the back closes, you're going to notice that there is a set of components on the back. I did have some problems finding the actual hitboxes for the actual doors, so you'll notice that a couple times in here. But now what you have is your quantum drive in the very back of the ship. So the ramp obviously has to be closed for you to access it. But this is where you would go and actually see your component. So if you were in flight and your quantum, broke down on you, you'd have to go to the back of the ship to actually start doing some fixes. There's other areas back here that may potentially house things later, but it is not currently functioning. Past that, though, you do have some nice things on the interior, like a new weapons rack that pops out of the wall, which is a very nice touch. It is functional. It comes in and out. You've got some of the beds. You've got a top bed and a bottom bed. Again, here, like we saw in the 300 series, you'll see some of the things that you can pop in there, probably later, like a coffee maker or whatever. There is a storage area, so I think this would be somewhere where you could put like mission boxes and things like that. You do have the famous kind of shoilet area where you have your shower, sink, and toilet later. Nothing in here is currently functioning, or at least I couldn't get it to work. But it is there and present, so when that gameplay is available. Here's your top bunk and your bottom bunk. So if you needed to log out, you could. I'll show you later that this whole center module is still one of the swappable pieces like you'll see in the Battlefield upgrade kits. That being said, when you need to actually eject, this whole module should slip out, and those should be your life pods. In here is some more components access. That's avionics. Those components don't currently exist, so there's nothing for you to actually see in there, but later, once avionics become a thing, that will be present. You do have an engineering station in the back. I like that it's a standing station instead of a seated station because it kind of gives a more, I don't know, not necessarily aggressive feel, but it does give you a little bit more of like emergent gameplay. Like I need to get on in this and do something as opposed to I'm going to sit here on my butt and kind of figure out what I need to do as far as the components. It's not really a passive ship. It's more aggressive. Popping out of here, you'll actually head a little bit closer to the front of the ship. And once you actually get up here, it's making use of this space significantly better than before. On either side, and I guess there's your turret access. But on either side up here before was very much wasted space. Now you've got some nice animations. A power plant, the door slides down into the ground. As far as your shield generator, it's going to pop out and up, and you have access to both of those. This is going to be another component housing that's not currently present yet, so I don't know if that's for upgrades later or something else. And you have your secondary power plant and shield generator on this side, again with some very sleek animations and things that you can do. Moving up a little bit forward, you get your coolers here. I like this one a lot because it kind of opens up and down. You got another cooler on the other side that has the same behavior. And then you get your pilot seat, which is more or less the same, although it doesn't do that long like drag up. It doesn't have as much space. It's got a little bit of a track there, but it doesn't feel like that long, unnecessary hallway. Visually, you do have a lot of bars. You've got some MFDs that can be in the way, but it's nothing really offensive or really in the way of what you're trying to do. From the X side of the ship, one of my favorite things is really towards the rear where it connects the back nacelles. You'll see that it sort of has some of those bars that are connecting. They almost look like pistons to allow for some articulation that we saw in the original designs. Again, a front of the ship, it's not as thin as we would have expected it to be from the original concept, but it does have a better line to it. The wings fold very well into the sides, giving it a smaller footprint. Now that was available in the prior ship as well, but it just seems a little bit different to me in the way that it's currently acting. And then once we get airborne, you can see we'll go ahead and deploy the wings. They're going to pop out, and it'll end up being kind of what you expected. Not 90 degrees, but pretty close to it. One thing that's really pretty cool about this ship that's now in place is you have 2 missile, I guess, areas on the bottom. But in addition, on top of this ship, you actually have 2 little missile bays that pop up. And you can kind of see those missiles there on the front, kind of on the shoulders of the ship. It looks like they each hold 4 missiles right now, at least at the size that are in there, which I believe are size 2s. And all in all, the ship just has a really good feel. You know, I liked the Vanguard we got, not as much as the concept, but I still really liked it. And I feel like this is a better step, and it's an even better ship. There you can see the outline of that center module that pops out when needed. So, big steps forward on the Vanguard. I think it looks nice. It flies pretty good right now, and I'm pretty excited to play with it more. So if you guys have questions, let me know. Otherwise, I wanted to give you a quick look. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and take care.